We can describe impact from three key perspectives. For teaching professionals, it provided a multidisciplinary experience of a hackathon for educators who might be interested in doing something similar themselves. At least one staff member was inspired to implement challenge-based learning for the first time the following semester, and she has since engaged extensively with our unit to develop award-winning CBL practice. On the day itself, challenges related to inclusivity, transversal skills, the use of AI in teaching, and engaging students in first year were amongst the topics explored. For learners, we have evidence that staff were introduced to or were reminded of the value of a range of active approaches at this hackathon. Our evaluation feedback referred to audience polling tools such as Vivox, digital whiteboards such as Loopboard, and peer-to-peer teaching activities as implementable ideas that they were taking home to their own classrooms. In terms of scholarly reach, we have been accepted to contribute a chapter about running this hackathon to a forthcoming open book on active learning, which is being developed by the UK Active Learning Network. The book will be called Making Active Learning Happen for All, and our chapter, called Modelling Active Learning Through a Challenge-Based Hackathon, will feature.
All participants were invited to share their feedback through a post-event survey, and thematic analysis was used to analyze the survey feedback. 5 main themes were developed through the analysis. We found that CBL engagement in staff was motivated by curiosity. Staff found elements of innovation and creativity like teamwork and collaboration particularly insightful on a personal and professional front. The limited time and fast pace typical of a hackathon came with pros and cons. On one hand, there was limited time for reflection, but on the other hand, it gave all participants a clear picture of engagement with the CBL cycle. Another theme that emerged was involvement in a hackathon, especially having student ambassador insights into student engagement led to some staff understanding and reevaluating their own teaching practices. As was the hackathon's big idea, the significance of active learning was reinforced during the hackathon, and staff were motivated to explore a range of active learning approaches. Lastly, hackathon mentors' feedback highlighted group dynamics, the importance of clearly defining the mentoring role, and the potential value of further time for reflection and action. Feedback from the student perspective indicated that staff attending seemed to be receptive to student suggestions about making their courses more inspiring.
So there are a number of lessons we've reflected upon and would advise others to think about. First, the extensive planning and coordination took considerable time for the two organisers in particular. Remember, you've got to confirm your budget, identify speakers, mentors and judges, and secure your venue and dates in order to be able to promote the event adequately. So a lead-in time of 3 months or so, as described in the literature, resonates with our experience. So we'd certainly advise that you don't try to plan this at the last possible minute. Second, the contribution of student ambassadors at this event was really significant, and it's something we would highly recommend. The feedback and input that they provided seemed to really hit home with the participants. And third, pay close attention to the timing and duration of the event itself. In retrospect, we would use a full day for a hackathon, but we were also being mindful of the difficulty in attracting participants and mentors to a full day commitment. However, when you have a shorter time frame, there is a trade-off that occurs in terms of limited reflection opportunities. So you might need to take that into account when planning a hackathon of your own.